All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. That's right. And we'll make a bold prediction on what we may see at quarterback this summer in Santa Clara. We'll talk about that coming up next. But first, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out. So get there early, get some brisket chili. Tell them the Krug sent you. All right, let's talk a little 49ers. Niners at the quarterback position really have some increased clarity compared to past years. In past years, it was like, well, who's going to be the guy? Is it going to be Trey? Is it going to be Jimmy? Is it going to be Brock? Who's going to be the 49ers quarterback? And who's going to be number two? Who's going to be number three? And, you know, it's funny because the Trey Lance final year, it was like, well, Trey's either going to be the starter or he's going to be the backup. And then all of a sudden he was traded and he was a Dallas Cowboy. And why was he traded? He was traded because the 49ers had him on a very cost-effective price for a starter, $9 million. But that's a very expensive number two, and it's a ridiculously expensive number three, prohibitively expensive. So the Niners said, no, we don't want to pay $9 million for our third-string quarterback. So they shipped him to Dallas, got a fourth-round pick, turned it into Malik Mustafa, by the way, which was a pretty nice little save. And Trey went on his way, and now he's with the Chargers, and the 49ers are established at quarterback with Brock Purdy. So this year, the depth chart looks very clean. Brock's going to be your number one. Mac Jones is going to be your number two. Tanner Mordecai is going to be your number three. And Curtis Rourke is going to get a redshirt year. Curtis Rourke is going to, be given the 25 season to kind of rehabilitate. Played last year hurt, played well, led Indiana to a playoff berth, and really had a great season playing for Indiana. But he hurt the knee, played with the injury, now has had the surgery, and the Niners are going to give him plenty of time. He is a 2026 proposition. So Curtis Rourke was a draft and stash, right? He's hurt. He's going to be on the PUP. Eventually, maybe he'll be on the practice squad. He's not going anywhere. Nobody's going to pluck him away from the Niners, but at the same time, he's not going to play it down. So Rourke is not going to play. Purdy's your undoubtedly he's going to be the starter. So you have a very clean room. Mac Jones was given nearly $5 million guaranteed to come here to be the number two quarterback. And he's going to be the number two quarterback. And Tanner Mordecai is going to be number three. Unless Tanner Mordecai severely outplays Mac Jones. And then this thing is going to get interesting. Brock is going to remain your one. Rourke's going to remain your four, given the redshirt year. But this thing only works effectively if Purdy's the one, Jones is the two, and Mordecai's the three. If this thing turns around and for whatever reason, Tanner Mordecai, who's got an extra year in this system, a very complicated system, a system that took Matt Ryan a year to master. He was the MVP in his second year in this offense. Jimmy G was worlds better in his second year. Brock Purdy, at the first year said he could barely even remember the plays as he was walking to the line of scrimmage. By the second year, he had all the nuances of different things that Kyle wanted from different plays, and he had them down. So there's a learning curve. And Tanner Mordecai's been in this offense for 2 years. Mac Jones has been in this offense for 2 months. So if Mac Jones outplays Mordecai, Mac Jones is the number two quarterback. If Mac Jones and Mordecai play to an absolute, they're even, Mac Jones is the number two quarterback. If Tanner Mordecai outplays Mac Jones slightly, they're basically comparable, but Mordecai's a little bit better. Mac Jones is going to be the number two quarterback, and Tanner Mordecai is going to be number three. But what if Tanner Mordecai, who is, has 4.46 speed, better arm strength than Mac Jones, more overall athleticism, and a whole extra year of experience in this system. What if Tanner Mordecai comes out and balls out in the preseason and looks great in training camp and outplays Mac Jones in practice and then gets into the preseason and outplays Mac Jones in the preseason? Then what? Do you still make Mac Jones the number 2 despite the fact that Mordecai beat him out? I don't think so. In that scenario, I think you're going to see a major, major upheaval at the quarterback spot. So, and what does that include? We'll hit that coming up next. But first, we're brought to you by LearnKey Upskill Academy, an online learning platform designed to get you job ready in 6 months or less. Whether you're interested in IT, cybersecurity, marketing, could be any number of high-demand fields. They offer over 30 certification programs to help you take that next step in your professional career. They've been in business for 40 years, nearly 40 years. They've helped over 200,000 students. They place about 100 students a month in well-paying jobs. LearnKey Upskill Academy. The link's in the description below. All right. What happens if Tanner Mordecai beats out Mac Jones and it's not close? And Tanner Mordecai moves the team more effectively in the preseason, and Tanner Mordecai looks sharper and better than Jones in the practices. In that scenario, I don't think Mac Jones is going to be on the team. In that scenario, if Mordecai outplays Jones to the point where Shanahan and the other coaches and the players and everybody with the Niners thinks that Mordecai's better, Mordecai's going to be the number 2 guy in that scenario. He's going to have to overwhelmingly win this job to be that number 2. Jones was brought here to be the number 2, and he's going to be the number 2 if things are even or even relatively even. But if Tanner Mordecai badly outplays Mac Jones and becomes the number 2, I think Mac Jones is gone at that point. I think the Niners in the cut-down weekend, right around Labor Day, will start dialing around to other teams in the league. I think of the Indianapolis Colts, who have Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, and maybe are looking for another suitable quarterback to throw into their kind of mix of backups and retreads and guys that haven't done it yet. And Mac Jones may make a lot of sense. And if Mac Jones plays, here's the dream scenario, is that Jones plays pretty good in the preseason, but Mordecai plays great. And in that scenario, Mordecai, I think, is still the number 2, and I think Jones gets traded. And in that scenario, maybe he even gets traded for a 5th-round draft choice. It depends how well he plays and depends how severe the team that needs Mac Jones, how severe their needs are. What if Daniel Jones gets hurt? What if Anthony Richardson still isn't very good? Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard are on the hot seat in Indianapolis if they don't start to win. Ballard's been there for a while. And they haven't won, and you can only blame it on Andrew Luck retiring for so long before suddenly they're coming for you. So there's some pressure on Chris Ballard to win some games, and he could easily say, hey, John Lynch, we've done deals in the past. How about you take a 5th or a 6th-round pick? How about you take a conditional 6th that can become a 5th if Mac Jones plays well for us? How about that? And the 49ers might just say, you know what? We'll save $4.75 million. We'll go with Tanner Mordecai as our number 2. Why? Well, because there's this other guy on the street named C.J. Beathard who lives in Nashville, is tight with Kittle, is tight with Purdy, who's been working out with them in the offseason, and who knows the Niners. And obviously, Shanahan and Lynch like C.J. Beathard. C.J. Beathard was with Jacksonville last year. He's without a home right now. So, technically, you could, if Mordecai beat out Mac Jones, you could flip Mac Jones for some kind of conditional 26 draft pick and go with C.J. Beathard at $1 million or C.J. Beathard at whatever the league minimum is, $700,000, whatever, as the third quarterback and save $4 million on the cap. If I were the Niners, I would consider doing it. It's all going to be predicated on this competition this summer. I thought Mordecai looked better than Mac Jones in OTAs, but it's OTAs. And Mac Jones has barely been on the team for, it's a matter of weeks at this point. So he's got a lot to learn. He's got some catching up to do. Mordecai knows the offense better. But we're going to see for real this summer. Purdy's your 1, Rourke is your 4. The debate at Niner quarterback is who's the 2 and who's the 3. And if it's Jones, then everything's fine. Jones is the 2 and Mordecai's the 3, and everything's fine. But if Mordecai's the 2, I don't think Jones is going to be kept at $4.75 million to be number 3. And in that case, I could see Mac Jones going elsewhere for a day 3 pick in 26. And, oh, yeah, C.J. Beathard is sitting right there. It doesn't have to be C.J. Beathard. It could be somebody with more upside. It could be some other young quarterback. I'm a big fan of Seth Hennigan, who's in Jacksonville right now as the backup to Trevor Lawrence. It could be somebody like that who, for whatever reason, it could be a Riley Leonard could wind up getting cut. Who knows? You know, you could make this deal with Indianapolis and say, here's Mac Jones, and you could take back Riley Leonard and never even deal with C.J. Beathard. But I'm just saying, if Mac Jones loses to Tanner Mordecai for the number 2 job, I think he's traded for a day 3 pick or released, and they go with somebody cheaper. I don't think the Niners want to pay Mac $4.75 million to be their number 3 quarterback. I don't think Mac wants to go somewhere where he's not the starter or the number 2 quarterback. So this Mordecai Jones competition is going to be juicy. And Mordecai may beat him out because he does know the offense better, and he's a better athlete with a better arm. So he might beat him out. I mean, it's possible. Tanner Mordecai knows this offense better. He might beat him out. If he does, my prediction is Jones winds up elsewhere, and the Niners wind up with a cheaper third-string quarterback than Mac Jones at nearly $5 million. Tell me what you think in the comments below. It's a bold prediction. Obviously, right now, the Niners are hoping that Purdy's the 1, Jones is the 2, and Mordecai's the 3, and Rourke is stashed for 2026. But if Jones doesn't win that number 2 job, do they keep him at $5 million to be the number 3? I don't think so. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to LearnKey Upskill Academy for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.